Hey guys, welcome back to another raid video. In today's video, I want to make a tier list. Alright, this tier list is gonna be about all the raw damage dealing champion in Raid Shadow Legends. I'm gonna rank them based on their strength in PvP. Alright, for arena nukers. Doesn't matter single target or AoE. I think I made a video like this long time ago. Alright, it was probably like a year ago. So I decided to make another video now. The list is gonna look completely different. I think last time I make a video like this, there was no half ruck. Alright, and there was Baron. It was still the old Baron. Alright, a lot of things have changed. So I have I have opened a website, tier maker. It's gonna look like this. Let me move myself aside so you guys can take a better look here. I'm gonna make this tier list live in this video. And share with you guys my thoughts about these champions. I'm just gonna put them in 5 categories. Alright, it's very obvious: SS, S, A tier, B tier, situational. So, alright, let's just get into it. Alright, I'm gonna put them into each categories, each tier, and I'm gonna say something about these champions. The first one is Tronda, the old queen. I think it's still queen. We could argue that she is SS tier or S. But really, I want to only put champions that are super meta into the SS tier, and I don't think Tronda is super meta. Even though she is probably still top 5. Alright, so I'm gonna leave Tronda at S tier for now. Still amazing champion. Alright, the Solus, of course, the best defensive nuker in the game. That is going to be S tier also. Super top tier champion, and doesn't do the same damage as Tronda, but much better survivability. Alright, and Rhodos. I remember the last time I made a video about this, I put Rhodos here. That was the last time. Rhodos was number 1, undisputed world champion. Alright, and I think I put Leoras at number 2. But right now, I think Rhodos is gonna be here. Alright, we have Stone Skin, we have Reaction, and we have Lightning Cage, we have Necrit. Rhodos is a little bit difficult right nowadays. Alright, Foley, unfortunately, Foley, my boy Foley. I think this is Hell Hades' favorite fusion champion. Right? I think he said it in one of his previous videos, but unfortunately, Foley doesn't hit that hard. Alright, especially we have this type of blessing system or the empower system that boost these champions' defensive stats. So it just makes Foley much harder to do his work. And next one is gonna be Hegemon. Alright, I think Hegemon is okay. In terms of damage, it's not there. His damage is not there. He doesn't have a great multiplier, but he always goes first. Alright, like I think his multiplier is lower than Foley, but consider his passive, he still deserve to be in S tier. Alright, he still deserves to be in S tier. But nowadays, just being honest with you guys, even in Platinum Arena defense meta, people don't use Hegemon because as long as the enemy team can survive 1 turn from Hegemon, Hegemon is pretty much dead, and you are gonna do like 3 versus 4. Alright, the next one is gonna be Yannicka. I think Yannicka has a good multiplier. Alright, Yannicka has a good multiplier, and she can ignore shield, but again, she doesn't hit that hard. And I think there is another spirit affinity damage dealer that is better than Yannicka. That is Cleopatrix. I think Cleopatrix, I also put her on tier list somewhere. Alright, the next one is gonna be Ethos. Ethos, unfortunately, Ethos is gonna be either on B or A. Alright, like I don't want to be too harsh on Ethos, consider he is a void legendary. So let's just put Ethos at A tier. Alright, probably like a low A or high B, somewhere there. But let's just leave a void legendary here. Alright, next one is gonna be more Macab. Alright, you know what? This is gonna be our first SS tier damage dealer. Completely busted right now. Can ignore shield, block revive. Alright. And if you have one more Macab on your account, congratulations. But And more than that, if you have 2 more macap on your account, like don't sacrifice them right away to empower 1 more macap. I mean, right? Try using 2 more macaps on your arena offense team. It's actually a amazing team setup. Alright, the next one is gonna be Ignatius. I think this is another solid A, like probably higher than Ethos, somewhere there. Alright, this is a defensive nuker that hits really hard, Ignatius, and can do provoke, and can do HP burn that is guaranteed. Sorry, not guaranteed, but HP burn that cannot be resisted. You know, that's why I think Ignatius is a very solid champion. Alright, next one is gonna be Kendrophone. Of course, Kendrophone is gonna be in a S tier. I would say Kendrophone is probably high S. I think if I have to like rank the S tier, I think Kendrophone is gonna be here, a little bit below Tronda, and it's above Solus. Alright, somewhere there. Alright, so yeah, and I think Rhodos is also gonna be above Solus. Rhodos is still good. Alright, and something like this. Kendrophone is amazing, both offense and defense. His only weakness in arena offense is Duchess. That's why like I have always said bad things about Force Affinity in arena offense. Force Affinity just got countered so hard by Duchess. Alright, but amazing champion overall. Alright, the next one is gonna be Ethos. Unfortunately, this is a high B, probably better than Foley, but I'll be honest, he's not trash. Maybe a little bit above average, I would say. But honestly, like the most champions on my tier list are above average champions, right? If they're a terrible champion, they are not even gonna appear on this list. So compared to other champions on this list, I think Ethos is a lower A or high B. He was buffed a little bit, so yeah, probably I would just put him below Ethos to be a low A. Doesn't have enough damage, but block revive is always nice. Alright, next one is gonna be Abyss. Alright, Abyss. Abyss has a great multiplier, and she hits hard, and she can do defense down. But she's Force Affinity, and nobody is gonna use her in arena defense. And Force Affinity is the worst affinity for arena offense, so I'm gonna put her here, below Yannicka in A tier. Alright. And next one is gonna be Turvold. Alright, so this list consists of both AoE damage dealer and single target damage dealer. I'm gonna rank them all together. But consider Turvold is a single target damage dealer. I think Turvold, he hits really hard, but we are talking about arena, alright? We are talking about PvP. Like, doesn't matter how hard this single target champion can hit. If there is no extra turn mechanic in his skill kit, it's really hard to get him going. You know, it's really hard to get him going. And he cannot ignore shield, ignore unkillable stuff like that, just dealing pure damage. So, I don't think it's enough, unfortunately. I don't think it's enough. Alright, the next one is gonna be Biggin. Biggin. Where should we put him? Again, this is a champion that I can put either on the lower A tier or higher B tier. Alright, he has a lot of debuff, the stun, decrease speed, but he doesn't have a great multiplier. We are talking about damage dealing, so I'm probably gonna put him below Foley here. Alright, like if I have to pick one between Foley and Biggin, I still pick Foley. Alright, I still pick Foley. Like why would I need stun or decrease speed in arena on a damage dealer? I mean, you're not gonna build any accuracy on him, right? Alright, so next one is Robar. Again, theoretically, Robar is probably like top 3 hardest hitting champion in the game. Consider his A3 is a conditional damage if the target has a crowd control debuff. But most of the time, it's a little bit hard to set up, you know, because if by the time Robar gets a turn, your crowd control debuff already expired. You know, it's really hard to set up Robar. So I would say, and his Force Affinity, which is the least favorable affinity for arena offense. That's why I'm gonna put him here. Alright, it's really hard to get him going, just like Turvold. It's hard. Alright, the next one is Misato. I know I don't see many people use Sato in arena, but I think he's okay, definitely above average. Not saying he's top tier, but he is definitely above average. Above average. So yeah, again, this is a champion that I can probably put on lower A or higher B, but consider that lower A has 2 Void Legendary in it. I'm gonna put him here, a little bit below Foley. All right, I think he is gonna be a little bit below Foley, like this. All right, next one is Ray. I think Ray is amazing. A lot of people underestimate the power of Ray. So before we have champion like Hevrock added into the game, Ray was actually the closest thing to Tronda. Of course, her A2 is conditional, but it was a very easy condition. I believe it was like target need to have a debuff, and her A2 does 50% more damage, and her A2 actually deals very close damage to a Tronda's A3. So she is definitely there. Alright, I think I'm gonna put her in high A above Yannicka. Ray is amazing. And next one is Herndig. Herndig, alright. I have always been a big fan about Herndig. I think Herndig is an amazing champion. Alright, the extra turn mechanic on the A1 and some decreased cooldown mechanic on the A3, stuff like that. I think Herndig is just amazing. Alright, I'm gonna put Herndig below Ray in a high A. Alright, definitely better than Yannicka's D stuff. And he is a fusion champion. If you don't have any other top meta arena damage dealers, use Herndig. Herndig is really an amazing champion. Alright, the next one is gonna be the most hyped champion in Ragash community nowadays, Baron. Of course, where can Baron be? Alright, he has to be in the SS tier. Right, absolutely super broken champion. Compared to Mortal Macab, I mean, Baron is not that good in arena defense because he is squishy. He doesn't have any like skill kit that can protect himself. That's why I think he is lower than Mortal Macab. But Baron is just definitely an SS tier, god tier damage dealer. Ignore defense, ignore shield, and he doesn't have to go with any buff strip champion. Literally save a spot in your team, stuff like that. So yeah, this champion is just bonkers. Alright, so next one is gonna be Monsoon King. Again, Monsoon King is a single target damage dealer that does not have extra turn mechanic. But I think the reason I think he's better than Turvold is because he is tanky. He's super tanky. Alright, so I'm gonna put him here in the higher B tier. So yeah, single target, hits hard, no extra turn mechanic, no block revive. The good thing is he is extremely tanky, and that's pretty much it. The next one is going to be Cretraxa. Well, I still have Cretraxa on the list. The good thing is Cretraxa has extra turn mechanic on her skill kit. Alright, but I don't think her damage is that good. Like, let's compare Cretraxa with other single target damage dealer on the list, right? Let's compare Cretraxa with Mountain King, Turbo, Rhodos. I don't think Cretraxa deals the same damage compared to the other single target nuker on this list. So unfortunately, I still think Cretraxa is better than Turbo. So it's gonna look like this, alright? 3 single target damage dealer on the A tier. Cretraxa is, B tier. Cretraxa is probably like the middle B tier, something like that. Not being used a lot nowadays. She doesn't hit as hard as other single target damage dealer, but she hits pretty hard, don't get me wrong. Alright, the next one is gonna be Cubitis. Alright, another meta champion in the game right now. Even though like we have the Baron rework, nowadays Baron is just a super hard counter on Cubitis. Baron pretty much destroys all the Cubitis team. But I mean, I think Cubitis is still on the top. It's still on the top. It's either on the high S or on the low SS. And I think I'm gonna put him in the low SS tier. Cubitis is there on the top. Even though people might be able to beat Cubitis with Baron, but I think Cubitis it's just top tier. Alright? The next one is gonna be Leoras. Well, you guys know where Leoras is gonna be. Alright, you guys might say this list is not very subjective. Of course, it might not be very subjective because this is my personal opinion as a top arena player, and I've said it many times, Leoras is my favorite champion in the entire game. But I want to be relatively subjective, so I'm gonna put him behind more Macab. Alright, the second best nuker in the game. Alright, so I think there will not be any other SS tier champion on the bottom here. You know, that's it for the SS tier. Like only 4 champion currently can make to my SS tier list. That is more Macab, Leoras, Baron, and Cubitis. Only these 4 champions. Alright, the next one is gonna be Royal Huntsman. Royal Huntsman. Okay, another single target. Well, he has AoE on his skill kit. And in the current meta, to be honest, I think he hits harder than any other single target damage dealer on this list. He hits harder than Rhodos, hits harder than Turvold. So, theoretically, I should put him in situational tier. You know, I should put him here. But let's just compare him. If I have to compare this champion with other single target, I think I'm gonna put him here. Here, right? The best champion on the B tier. He is the best on the B tier. The best single target damage dealer on the list. But the reason Rhodos is better because of the extra turn mechanic, and Rhodos can go with Sifi. So yeah, that's it. Royal Huntsman. And Inquisitor Shamal also hits hard. I know, also hits hard. And he works kind of similar to Royal Huntsman, you know. But nowadays we have like empowerment system, so I don't think Epic Champion is gonna go anywhere. Like I said, I probably should put him in a situational tier, but let's just make this list nice and clean. I'm gonna put Inquisitor Shamal on the bottom, and next one is gonna be Faceless. Similar to Royal Huntsman, I'm gonna put him here because he is epic. Epic cannot get empowerment. And the next one is gonna be Cubitis, another epic. Alright, so I think Cubitis hits hard, but this champ is really situational because he has a secret skill that is only usable below 50% HP, stuff like that. So he has to be on situational list. Alright, the next one is Ragash. I think Ragash is decent. I like this champion a lot. Theoretically, he does more damage than Solus. He does, alright, he does more damage than Solus. The problem is he is Spirit Affinity, and he doesn't have a crazy shield like Solus. So overall, I think he has to be below Solus. He just has to be below Solus. So I'm gonna put him here. Alright, probably here, below Ray, and very close to Herndig. Ragash is a great champion. If you have this champion and you are looking for a good defensive damage dealer, just go with Ragash. Spirit Affinity is fine. Alright. The next one is gonna be Hevrak. I know Hevrak brought a lot of hype when he was first released, but as time goes by, people just kind of realized his weakness. That is his conditional A2, which is if you want to do the second hit, you have to take enemies HP below 50% in order for him to do the second hit. That's why when he's facing a lot of like super thick shield, for example bolster set thick shield that cannot be removed, it's a little bit hard for Hevrak to do damage. That's why we pretty much don't see anyone currently using Hevrak in the offense team. Alright, so I'm gonna put Hevrak on S tier here. I think in terms of overall usage, I still think Tronda is better. Alright, I still see more people use Tronda compared to Hevrak. Hevrak is super strong in arena defense, but on offense, not as good as the champions that are ahead of him. Alright, the next one is gonna be what's his name? Yakaro. Okay, Yakaro. I think I made a video about a +4 Yakaro on my account when I bought the last copy of Yakaro from the clan shop. Alright, and I think shortly after that, I pulled another Yakaro from Void Shards. It was extremely unlucky for me, and he received a rework before he was added to the clan shop, I believe. And unfortunately, I think he is still not very good. because in his skill kit, you still need to build him with accuracy. That's really an issue on all the damage dealer. If you build a damage dealer with kind of like a hybrid build, you build damage, you build accuracy, you need all the stats, it's hard to make that champion work. So unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna work, but he's probably like, if I have to pick one, I probably pick him over Robar. You know, I probably pick him over Robar. So I'm gonna put Yakaro here on the middle of B tier. Alright, somewhere there. Alright, so the next one is gonna be Fushan. Fushan, I think it's underwhelming. Well, a lot of people might say this is a definition of an average legendary. Alright, I remember Ash said that in one of his video. I think Ash said this is just a typical average legendary, but that was like a year ago, something like that. Like right now we have so many good champions in the game. I don't think Fushan can compete with any other champion on the list, so he's probably better than 2 epics on the list, and he's pretty close to Robar, something like that, and he's gonna be here on the low B tier. But don't get me wrong, all the champions on this list are above average champion. Alright, trash champion will not make to this list, you know. So next one is gonna be Cleopatrix. Cleopatrix, I think I mentioned it. I mentioned her before, right? She is the hardest hitting spirit affinity nuker in the game. So with that being said, obviously she is gonna be ahead of Yannick. That's very obvious. The next one is gonna be Ruo the Houndmaster. Well, technically, Ruo the Houndmaster is the hardest hitting champion in the entire game if you have the team set up for her, which is you require 4 enemies under Hex debuff. She is going to be the hardest hitting raw damage dealer in the entire game. And she can take down the dungeon stage 25 wave by herself with raw damage. Usually, this is a job for a seer, right? But with certain team setup, she can actually take down stage 25 wave by herself. I think I made a video about her before, basically showing a team with Ruo in Fire Knight 25. Ruo just clear out the wave purely by herself. But again, for the nuker that required Hex to get them going, it's a little bit hard to build a team around. So I think, like, I still like this champion, you know, so I'm gonna put him here. This is a male character, right? So I'm gonna put him here, below the 2 Void Legendary here, below Ethos and Ignatius. Alright, the next one is gonna be Shimna. I think Shimna hits really hard. Her damage is actually very close to Tronda. So if Tronda is here, like, I really shouldn't put Shimna below S tier because she hits hard. And you don't have to like avoid building accuracy on this champion like when you are building Tronda, you know. So I think Shimna is really, really solid. I'm gonna put him here on a low S tier. Shimna is a really, really solid champion. Alright, next one is gonna be Magnar. Alright, Magnar. Epic champion that cannot be empowered. So, but like, if I just take a look at B tier, I think Magnar is still better than a lot of legendary champions on the B tier, you know. So I'm gonna put Magnar here ahead of Saito. Magnar is still the best epic damage dealer in Racial Legends. But like, Magnar used to be S tier, you know, before the empowerment system came into the game. Magnar used to be S tier. Alright, but now he can only be like B tier. But don't get me wrong, B tier is okay. B tier is above average. Alright. So last one is gonna be Colorado. A lot of people look down to this champion. But honestly, like, a lot of my clanmates actually use this champion in Arena Reset. So I would say this champion is definitely usable. I think I'm gonna put him here. Probably here, right? He doesn't have a great multiplier, and he has to be used with a Yumiko. He has some special effect in his skill kit that is really, really powerful when you use him with Yumiko. Alright? I think mostly about his A2. His A2 is a single target that hits kind of hard, and if you kill the enemy, he gets extra turn, and he gets just get him going like this, you know. So yeah, I think he's okay. Not top tier, and definitely deserve to be in A tier. Alright, so I think that's gonna be it. That's gonna be my list. Alright. I try to make this list subjective, but there are definitely some of my personal opinion there. I don't think I particularly have a bias towards certain champion. Like, I don't hate this champion personally, some champion personally, you know. So if you guys disagree, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know like what champion you think shouldn't be on a certain tier, and I will try to get back to you and explain to you guys my decision here. Alright, so anyways, the only 4 SS tier champion are these 4: macmikechen, Leoras, Baron, and Cubitis. These 4 champions. Alright, and all the S tier champions, if you have any of them, make sure to build them. At least just fully max them out, right? Just give them a try. Even if you're not using them in arena, probably still a good champion for Doom Tower, you know. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys in a video soon. Bye.